it's a wedding venue. Surprise, surprise, right? Who would be making a wedding venue after this whole time? That would be me. I've never actually made one, so another one for my, series of making different builds and stuff so that I can get better at making everything and not just making homes. So originally this was just gonna be kind of like a normal wedding venue. Like you see that I was trying to go for the style that is there within this pack, and was planning on just using a lot of the wedding pack and base game. So that was my idea, but then I thought of the Courtyard Oasis, and then based off this door, I was like, you know what? Let's make it good, because I don't really know how good, simple wedding venues would be, particularly, right? Because I'm Muslim and I'm from Pakistan, so I only really know the wedding venues that are in Pakistan. So, like, I was so happy when, so I had put this door, and then I was like, okay, you know what? We gotta try to make it look as much as it can similar to what I see in Pakistan. No, I've never actually fully went to a wedding venue. Now, if you don't know how weddings work in like Pakistan or South Asia in general, whatever, is that um, usually like unless it's like middle class or upper middle class, normally people don't really go to a venue. They have like stuff set up for them, either outside their house or outside the um, yeah, like both parties are gonna have stuff like located outside of their house, so that in-laws will, future in-laws, and the person that is getting married. So you would have it directly outside of your home, a little bit open area. You get some favors from your neighbors to, use up some of your land and their land to have the wedding venue there. So calling it a venue is like a little too much, because all they really do is like they set up tents, and they have um they s- what the heck? Sorry, something it just completely went off. the yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So the wedding venue. What did they do? They had tents, and then under that, and those tents are really cool. They're like gigantic, not like tents you would think here. Like they are huge, and they can cover a lot of people. I think probably even 50 plus people there. And usually, like weddings are such a big thing. It's like their way of partying, so anytime they want to go out and stuff, and then wedding season comes along, everybody's gonna be going to weddings, one after the other, one after the other. Like it's their party, like I'm saying, right? So it's a really big thing, and back to the main point. So the tents, they can like basically like about 50 people can be in there, right? uh, and they're huge. And then and to hold them up are like wooden stakes or sometimes even metal. And then like there's one big one in the middle that keeps up the tent, and then there's a bunch on the sides that also hold up the tent, and they hold them very, very, very well, right? So uh and a lot of the time it's you won't really have people like that you've hired to set up all those things. You just like, from my experience, what I've seen in the village and everything, and how those things go, it's like they just like invite their friends and stuff, and the male colleagues and stuff. They uh get the whole tent ready, get the whole setup ready and everything. There isn't that much of like, oh, getting a wedding planner and stuff. No, everybody is like so used to weddings, and it's such a common thing that y- you don't really need wedding planners, I guess, unless maybe you're in the city or something. But yeah, it's very informal, and it's just kind of something, we're used to, and I think it's like super fun. But this wedding venue, it's more of like, I guess, how a city would look like. Um, so yeah, people do like to dance a lot, but very rarely. The like female and male sections are secluded. Like they're actually usually within their own home until the male brings the uh, future spouse, to his house, and then from there they have their prayers and they have their vows and stuff right there at his home, and then obviously everybody like comes together. But before that, and one of the biggest differences between weddings in our culture and American weddings, it's almost never a 1 day thing. It is like a 3 day event. All right, a 3 day event. So there's so much to plan out, and it's so much fun, and it's so stressful, but also fun when it actually goes well. Like, and you planned everything, and you're like, you know, we did it. We did this, okay? We did it, Joe. We did it. But yeah, uh, so that's that thing for that one. But yeah, once you're done with that thing, like it's so nice, and you just like kind of enjoy it. So, yeah. The first day is more fun and frivolous, and they're like people are celebrating within their own homes. The spouses are celebrating it with their own households and stuff, and it's super fun. It's like Mandy, like the girls get like stuff uh, like henna done on their hands and feet and everything, and then it's like this beautiful red like marking that like they put on their hands with like dye or whatever, like hair dye sort of, but it's specifically for hands and feet and stuff like that. So they put that on, looks beautiful. It's so much fun. Like for that, sometimes they get people that are designers to do that henna for them and for the guests and for the bride. So it becomes a very big thing to have. And yeah, so that's the first day, and it's more musical than the days that come later. And then outside of that thing, we have the music on, we're enjoying, we do our own little setups, and we sit with the bride and groom, whichever side, and like taking pictures, having photography, and all that. That first day is just, it's the most fun day. We call it Mindi. So honestly, it's the best day ever. It's my favorite day out of the whole wedding. Because like I don't have to feel like scared because I'm not in like in an area with a lot of people. The area that I'm at is like, would be my home or my relative's home or someone I know, their home and stuff. So I wouldn't feel nervous whatsoever. And yeah, it's super super fun. um, but and then on the second day, it's that one I get a little confused, but I do believe that's when you go and you get the bride and you bring them to your home and stuff, and um, that's the thing. It's like ruxuti, so that whole day of it is like the bride basically crying. The bride and their parents and their siblings and their relatives all crying because she's gonna go to her new home. So yeah, with new people and stuff they have to take care of, a new family that they're gonna take care of, if they want to, that is. But that's a whole nother thing. Islamically, yeah, if they want to take care of them, well, they should. But you should not put up with abuse, right? That's just unfortunately within the culture to be so high and mighty about all those types of things. But yeah, and then on the third day is I think when everything gets together. It's like when you have basically the like vows, they're repeated for the bride and groom, they're together, you have that and everything, and it's almost done. And then you're like, second and third day, like I get very confused. I don't know exactly what happens on those 2 days. I mostly know about the Mehndi because it's my favorite day. But yeah, they do their vows, they pray, they sign their paperwork for marriage, and yeah, like again, we set up another tent. People are invited, everything. Everybody's all together. But this time around, you also have the bride's guest and your guest, so it's even bigger. So you're gonna even have like the double amount of tents and tables and stuff like this. Like where I'm showing her, you have a huge amount of fans if it's a little bit hot. But usually, a lot of people they have their wedding uh, in the cold season. So like when it's winter, summer, whatever. I don't know how they put up with the cold sometimes, but it's 1,000 times better than sweltering heat. Everyone's always afraid of rain, though. That like I hope it doesn't rain on the wedding day. They have this like superstition that if it rains, that is apparently very bad luck or whatever, which is funny. But if it like rains on the wedding day, it's funny, right? All right, so yeah, you have all that, and by the third day, you're all together. Everything, all the vows have been said. All the documents and stuff, they've been written in. Everybody gets to meet each other. They have the little dinners and stuff. It's so much fun. And then the bride goes home once more and go there and say her like extra goodbyes and stuff. And then the groom picks her up again and then brings her to his home again. And yay, yay, we're happy. Wedding is over. That's how it is. But I don't really know how I would make like a village looking type wedding with this. I just went off the top of my head of how it would probably look like, and uh, kind of just wanted to kind of do my own thing because again, this whole series and builds are for me. It's not supposed to be exact. It's not supposed to be perfect or stuff like that. It's supposed to be just fun to make, fun to learn, and just making different things other than homes. And who knows, after making all these different types of venues, I will get better at making homes, right? So it's a step out of my comfort zone and all that. So it's fun picking out all these different things for different lots and having different requirements, right? How many times am I gonna say different? If you drink for every time I say different, you'd be totally, completely drunk and hung over. And also, if you drink for whenever you know, I mess up and I'm like, okay, and my trail of thought goes completely somewhere else, and yeah. But yeah, here I'm like doing the exterior. There was a lot for the exterior to be done, as you can see. It took forever, and that's why I just cut it out. It was like way too much, right? Like, I don't think anybody was gonna watch that for that long with how indecisive I was. As you could see, I was still taking care of some things, like, over there. And then this one, again, this part, oh, the other thing that I didn't explain or talk about. Yeah, so on the Mindi, usually this isn't the case. Usually this portion where they're sitting and people sit together and they take photos with the bride and the groom. And you have these tables, like a bigger table for the bride and groom, some couches and side chairs for everybody else that are gonna sit there to take photos. So that's outside usually on the main day on the first day, and then by the second or third day, we have it like this. So it's within a room. That's kind of cut off from the house, like a very fancier looking room, like a guest room basically for everybody to sit, and again to sit with the bride and the groom and to take photos. So that's what this area is basically. This portion is that. So I was also, because it's like basically it's part of a home, so I kind of took it off from my side instead of thinking like, okay, this is a wedding venue that's supposed to be for the richer folks, right? The ones who can actually afford these wedding venues. But I added in these little, art pieces and stuff. And obviously they don't look too personalized. And then I have the bathroom, right? So yay, for rent, if it did anything good in its lifetime, they added these toilets. So I could be here with you making a Pakistani wedding venue. But yeah, this one was a little confusing. I'm like, how much space should I have? How are they gonna like use the different toilets and everything? How's that gonna work out? But then I was like, you know what? I'm actually probably like not gonna play within this, right? As I don't think I would go over the venue anyways. And then this portion was basically through my own thought of like, okay, so if it's not happening in the village, maybe it'll be like this basically. So if it was happening in a village, this portion would be outside with the tents. Those would basically be tents, the ones that I'm putting up right now for it. But like this is like, okay, inside the wedding venue. Not so bad really, right? It's not too tough. And I think it just looks magnificent and beautiful and something they would definitely do. Now, one room I forgot was like the bride and groom room that is so decorated and beautiful and full of flowers when they go in there. Uh, so that room I forgot. But otherwise, I think I did a very, very good job. So I hope you guys like it. All right, thank you. And please like, comment,